2024 was my first full calendar year as a full-time content creator, and it went better than I could have ever imagined. I earn over 3 times as much as I did as a qualified IT project manager for an investment bank. I traveled to Iceland, Dubai, LA, twice, Japan, Madrid. I crossed a lot off my bucket list and worked with a lot of my favorite brands. And I didn't meet most of my goals that I set for this year, and I'm okay with that for the first time in my life. You may not know me very well, but that is a huge deal for me. Like, the goals that I previously set, they took the backseat. As other goals, experiences, opportunities came up, I'm still making progress, of course, heading in the right direction. I'm just taking the scenic route. But that's not today's topic. Today, I want to talk to you about 5 important things that I learned this year in my first year as a full-time content creator. Do less. You have to be okay with doing less. Some of you may find this very relatable, some might not, but I've always wanted to do the most. At university, I was an active member of the Computer Society, and not just for the monthly LAN parties. I also worked on campus at the PC clinic where I'd fix devices for all the other students. I was the vice chair for the committee of my halls of residence. I did archery, taekwondo, pilates, badminton, boxercise, fashion blogging, photography, programming, passion projects, developed websites, played a lot of video games, learnt Japanese. Not well, but I know more Japanese than I know French, and that's a little bit embarrassing given I'd studied French for 11 years. Look, I know my weaknesses, and I'm barely good at English. I volunteered often, from selling poppies in London Underground stations to picking up litter in my local area. I started live streaming. I tried making cosplays. I taught myself how to sew, how to use Warbler, making weapons. I blogged my progress, and I attended multiple conventions throughout the year, every year. I would take every opportunity to go to careers fairs, off-campus business-led workshops, enter university competitions, multiple prestigious summer internships. Oh, and on top of all that, my main overarching goal was to do well in my STEM degree at a good university, so of course I left with a first and a really good grad job offer. And I'm not trying to paint a picture that I'm incredibly successful at anything that I do, I'm just driven. Good example being I actually got a D in A-level maths, and I won't go into too much detail, but there were reasons I wasn't able to attend sixth form classes as much as I probably should have. I also turned out to one of my exams over an hour late, completely by accident, because some exams at my school would take place at our kind of brother school, and they had different exam timings, and I had no idea. Anyway, since I knew that I wanted to do a computer science type course, I needed at least a B in maths, so I had to do a foundation year. That foundation year was a 1-year course, and it would teach you everything from the A-level maths syllabus, which was 2 years squashed into 1 year, plus more. And I got firsts in all of my maths modules. I want to learn every skill, try every hobby under the sun, and it's the same when it comes to work. Like, I have this endless fountain of ideas, and there's so much that I want to do in my limited time on this planet. There's a million things I haven't done. Just you wait. Sorry. Maybe it's the ADHD, or maybe it's that I've always just been driven by a deep curiosity and desire for self-growth. Learning isn't just something I do, it's a core part of who I am. I am constantly seeking opportunities to grow and evolve. It's not just fulfilling, it is central to my identity. However, you can't do it all. Actually, that is quite impossible. And what's worse is that if you spend your time trying to do so much at the same time, you'll actually end up making very little progress with each of the things that you've set out to do. You need to learn to prioritize to be successful. This has been the most difficult lesson for me this year, and it's still something that I need to get better at. It's been a constant cycle of being excited about new ideas, overworking myself, getting burnt out, not actually being able to deliver on those new ideas, then having to reduce myself back to just business as usual stuff, and we go again. In more recent months, I've been delegating more to free up my time, figuring out what goals I'm most passionate about achieving and focusing on those, and that's exactly why I started posting on here so late in the year. I've actually been scripting these videos since late 2023. I can't do everything. No one can do everything. I'm just very passionate about passing on everything that I've learned and being a useful source for other content creators, business owners, anyone willing to listen. Second important thing that I've learned this year, spending like a business owner. I don't know what happened in my life to make me as frugal as I am, or at least was before. It's really bizarre. Like, you could take a look into my 2023 makeup bag and I'm spending as if I'm a teenager with limited pocket money. I never bought new phones unless they became literally unusable, despite them being rather important to any job involving social media. I would do anything that I could to get a product sent over to me in like a collab deal instead of just buying something I genuinely needed. Newsflash, there are costs associated in running a business. Yes, it will cost a fair bit to hire an editor, and you may already know how to edit your videos and see that as something you don't want to spend, but it might also be very much worth it to get some of your time back to focus on other things. I'm not saying that you should spend thoughtlessly, but you should be okay with spending money. I didn't even like paying for taxis from the station with like my back issues. There were times that I would literally end up not being able to work because I'm in pain. Honestly, what is wrong with me? I am much more confident in spending on the right things, things that offer value, and I understand that my time is my most valuable resource, and it doesn't come cheap. Third thing, it's okay to be unlikable. Whenever I mention that I'm unlikable, my friends are the first to jump in with, "No, you're not. You're great. You're my friends. Of course you're gonna like me. You've already moved past all of my shortcomings." That was not intended as a height joke. What I mean is, I've always struggled with basic social interaction, small talk, empathy. It doesn't come easy to me. Most of the time I feel like my language and my tone, they can come off quite aggressive and patronizing. Some people like my humor, some people really do not. On a platform like Twitch, it really works in your favor to be a likable person, someone who's warm and welcoming, community builders, you know? If you want advice on building an authentic community and genuinely connecting with them, you don't come to me. In fact, if you want some real examples, I think of people like Rage Darling. She's got a great community as well as hosting her own community events that seem to be very well received. I believe they're called PlebCon. I don't watch their content as much, but Stallion comes up on my feed a lot. I believe they've also hosted events in a different way, and they're particularly strong at rallying their community together. If you want to know what mic or camera to use in your content, you go to Night Owl. If you want to watch genuinely good videos to take inspiration from, go watch Sal. You come to me if you want someone to kick you into gear, teach you the business side of content creation, and help you build brand relationships. That is what I'm good at. I've positioned myself in the way that I have because I'm not good at community building, but I excel in other areas. Play to your strengths, and remember, it's okay to not be likable. Fourth lesson, management can be very good. I have a much more detailed video coming all about management, whether it's right for you, what you could expect, and so forth. So we'll just cover a little bit. Remember, I've been a content creator for a really long time, so I've had countless pitches hit my inbox from talent agencies, and I'm also very, very good at reaching out and representing myself, so you'd have to be pretty special for me to even consider you. Plus, I have heard so many horror stories about the agencies that some of my friends have been trapped in over the past few years, so you can see why I'm a little bit cautious. There have only been 2 agencies of the many, many emails that have piqued my interest, and by the way, remember, if they can't pitch themselves to you, how do you think they're going to pitch you to others? Right, I promise, I do have a point here, which is that I was already very scared of delegating so much control over me and my brand. That's why I have such high standards for management, and perhaps maybe a few more hard deal breakers on my list than I should have. But it seems to have worked out well for me. Not just well, I have saved a lot of time this year from not having to review contracts, respond to every email, negotiate, invoice, chase late payments, etc. And of course, they do some outreach as well, but most of my inbound opportunities are from contacts that I already had before I signed with management. And that's absolutely fine because I've got more than enough paid work, which is fantastic. And my management, they are more than worth their cut by doing all those other things. Too many creators have the wrong idea about management, as if they sign with someone and suddenly they're flush with paid campaigns. That's not how it works. But I will go into a lot more detail in that other management video that I mentioned. And if you want that one sooner rather than later, let me know in the comments so I can prioritize it. Fifth and final lesson, don't dismiss a platform because it didn't work out immediately. I know, we all know that, surely. That's a silly thing to say, but no. I had no strategy, no consistent schedule for posting on Instagram. It was always a platform that I didn't really understand and I thought I couldn't succeed on, so I did dismiss it. And now I'm getting millions of views every month on my reels, and I have a pretty high engagement rate for the platform. I've gained 30,000 followers in a few months. Instagram is a huge platform. It has something like 2 billion monthly active users, and I didn't take it seriously. Until recently. In my defense, my Meta Business Suite had been a nightmare, and for ages I couldn't even upload my videos directly. If I can't schedule posts from my desktop, then it takes up a lot more time than I can afford to give. Moral of the story is, don't be like me. Post consistently, be patient, don't give up on a platform unless you have a very good reason. Now that I've said all that, I'm gonna have to install Snapchat, aren't I? That's probably enough rambling for today. In the future on this channel, you can look forward to focused videos on pitching to brands when management is a good idea, my income revenue streams, resetting and goal setting for 2025, and a lot more topics that I can't wait to dive into properly. And I should probably do a video with just start in the thumbnail because it seems like that's a rite of passage for this kind of channel. Anyway, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.